What up, folks? Hey, I just want to share some thoughts on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorsing Pelosi. If you read the articles coming out about it, while yes, she did say that she would endorse Pelosi, there is a caveat that Pelosi remains progressive. And really, anyone paying attention shouldn't be surprised by this endorsement if you listen to what she was saying when the environmental activists were protesting at Pelosi's office. She said, we need to let Speaker Pelosi know that, right, she may not use Speaker, but we need to let, Nancy Pelosi know, Representative Pelosi know that we've got her back. If she's going to push for environmental regulation, environmental legislation, then we need to let her know that we've got her back and we need to support her. And she even called upon, saying, I know that Nancy Pelosi has activist background, comes from activism, and comes from a progressive platform. And she may not be there currently, but again, she's not lying. She's not being disingenuous. She's being accurate. And what I really like about it is it puts Nancy Pelosi in a position to say, I'm not progressive. The fuck told you that? And so I love this. I think this is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pulling a Tyrion Lannister. She's playing the game of politics, playing the Game of Thrones, and watch what she does. She can use rhetoric against people, and we talk about how much actions are so much more important than words, because we see people give good words and then never followed up with action. And yet we have people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doing the exact things that we want her to do and saying some things that we may not want her to say. And I think she's pulling the levers of power. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. That said, perhaps I have a blind spot. Perhaps, this is somewhere where, I'm a little naive because I want to, my confirmation bias is stroked when I think that she's a winner and she's going to lead us to some real change. She and Ro Khanna and the remainder of the Justice Democrats, if I recall, there were 4 people in the House who were not taking corporate PAC money. Now there's 40. Is that right? I know that there's an order of magnitude increase. It was either 2 to 20 or 4 to 40. And so this is huge. These are leaps and bounds that we are increasing. And the Tea Party was the tail that wagged the dog. And it looks to me like the progressive movement is absolutely going to do that as well. And the Justice Democrats don't need to be a panacea. They're not going to be the best all. I think that this is an opportunity for the Justice Democrats to perhaps partner with the Green Party, or rather the Green Party solicit and petition to be part of the Justice Democrat movement to primary out-of-touch Democrats. You should be able to primary an out-of-touch Democrat with somebody left of them, not somebody who's just in the same party as them. And so I think that there could be a lot of power here with the Justice Democrats and Green Party candidates coming together, agreeing on a platform, and it can be independent. That's what's great about a lot of Justice Democrat legislation, is that it's pretty nonpartisan. Bipartisan is a great way for us to say America first. And as we know, that's a kind of a scary phrase now. And so I think that we need to come together in very nonpartisan ideas, which is what really attracts many of the far left. And I think that we have the ability to really push some progress in maybe even a right-leaning area as well. Libertarians at least seem to be progressive on a war profiteering, privatization. And so we at least have something to work with there. And perhaps we can help libertarians get a little bit more foothold over Republicans, even though we're libertarians, in some ways are have some very interesting ideas, a little scary perhaps. I myself consider myself a left-leaning libertarian, much in the same way that I would say that Kyle Kalinske says that he is as well. I try to be pretty in touch. I've worked in a variety of areas: oil fields, over-the-road trucking, call centers, tech support, the Army, and also currently I work in pediatric medical research. So I've got a pretty wide array of work environments that I feel really help me understand much of the working class in the way that I do. I also try to understand my own bias. I'm a philosophy nerd. I'm a science nerd. And ultimately, I try to base my views off of evidence. I may not be the best, but I try to be very open with my biases. That way, it's a little bit easier to tease out if I do steer myself wrong. But this is where I see Alexandria Cortez power coming into play. She's going to say things that need to be said. She's going to push for things that need to be pushed for. And she's going to tie those two things together and put these corporate politicians in a very interesting position where they have to say, who the fuck told you I was progressive? And I think this is where she's going to have a lot of power. And she may not be the best, but, again, if we're going to hold people's accountable and hold people's feet to the fire, we need to make sure we're not putting gasoline on their head and trying to burn a witch. So we need to understand that some people should be able to buy padding, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, with their actions. And she's doing what we want her to do. And let's give her a little bit of leeway. I didn't see her going and stooping for Cuomo. Yeah, I was disappointed when I saw that come out. I'm still not sure what to make of it. But she's showing me a pattern of saying something and still pushing for very progressive legislation. And let's have that win out. Let's give her support in her actions. Since she's pushing for a very nonpartisan thing, and let's stand together. This 29-year-old badass, angry Puerto Rican woman. Who the fuck isn't angry? I'm not a Puerto Rican woman. I'm a white dude, but I'm angry, and I can tap into that. She's got a righteous anger that I feel really resonates with the working class. And if her actions start to speak differently than we see, then again, that's when we really need to worry. Her speech now, if she's saying anything beyond what appears to need to be said, I mean, who else is standing up with Pelosi? There's nobody. Nobody's said, "Hey, look at me! I'm going to run for office and do it." Like we're trying to get Barbara Lee, and Barbara Lee said no. And so, please correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a champion who said that they will be the speaker and have a realistic chance of winning, great. Please, I'd love to be wrong there. But it seems that Pelosi appears to be the main default. And I see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trying to run with this knowledge, run in this reality, and change it in the ways that she can. Start pulling her left. Bernie pulled Hillary left, and while I'm still disappointed in how far left she got, still, she was pulled left. And this is what I see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doing. And by the way, Fox News, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Ocasio, Alexandria Ocasio. Anyway, that's my mumble. Keep it under 10 minutes. Thanks for following. Keep up to date with what's going on with me. I have paying some legal bills against what happened to me at a Mia Love rally in Thanksgiving Point at a place called the Show Barn. What happened was I showed up. They told me to get off their property within 1 minute of me showing up with an American flag, said they didn't want the American flag on their, if I was going to fly the American flag, I had to get off their property. I thought I was off their property. They reiterated by sending the police as well as their own private security. And then I had a ticket to get in. I got in. I was fine. I was legally on the grounds. And then I said some things that created an environment where they needed a safe space for me. That all of a sudden, their triggering of needing a safe space made me illegally on the grounds. I don't think the Ben Shapiros or the Milo Yiannopoulos, who had a lot of people asking them not to speak, well, telling them not to speak on Berserkly, I don't think they were ever illegally on the grounds. So they created an environment where a lot of people needed a safe space from their views, and they tried to shut it down. And I did too, and yet they were legal. I was illegal, even though I had a ticket to get in. Ticket afforded to the public, open to the public, private property. As long as you have a ticket, I had a ticket, legal on the grounds, and all of a sudden I yelled out, "Abolish ICE, reunite families, and save babies from cages." After they said they were here to save babies. And I was somehow illegally on the grounds. Anyway, pre-jury trial, January 2nd, 2019. Jury trial, January 22nd. Thanks, guys. Follow me, Josh Cameron. I am the spokesperson of Our Voice USA and try to represent them as well as I can. And not all my views are the views of Our Voice. Thank you.